Amanda's changes started small, the way storms begin with quiet air. She used to leave her phone on the counter, unlocked, forgotten. Then one day it was face down, every time I entered a room. Notifications stopped lighting up. Her password changed. She said it was for security at work, but we were not a bank. She started gym sessions that lasted 3 hours. She came home without sweat or messy hair. Her shirt smelled like perfume instead of chlorine. Cash withdrawal slips appeared on the kitchen desk. 50 here, 100 there, 200 on a Saturday morning. She said the farmer's market only took cash. We did not shop there. Emily noticed the tension and tried not to ask. Our daughter trusted her mother. I did too, until the evidence stopped caring about feelings. Around that time, Emily started dating Hunter. He was polite, clean-cut, respectful, and painfully young. He called me sir and asked permission before entering the house. Amanda adored him a little too much. She baked him cookies. She fixed his resume. She offered him rides he did not need. I told myself she was being motherly. That excuse broke fast. One night, I saw a Snapchat pop up on Emily's iPad. A username that looked familiar flashed across the screen. Amanda had forgotten she was logged in. A picture loaded in the notification preview. Hunter in my garage, wearing my dark gray hoodie. My tools in the background. It was a 5-second picture, but my brain saved every pixel. I felt something inside me freeze instead of explode. I did not storm into rooms. I did not confront anyone. I opened my laptop and created a folder named Amanda. Evidence needed room to breathe. I checked our home camera logs. The garage door opened at strange hours. Motion alerts spiked after midnight. Lights turned on in the workbench corner, where no one should be. My HomeKit system does not lie. I pulled the activity history. A lighting scene named Studio Pink ran several times. I never created that scene. Amanda thinks pink lighting is flattering on camera. I checked the router logs. Hunter's phone connected to our Wi-Fi at 11:42 p.m. Strong signal, garage access point. Not a neighbor. Not a coincidence. Still, I needed undeniable proof. I went to print tax forms for Emily, and the printer showed a stalled job. A photo named IMG 4827 appeared in the spool. I opened it. A clear picture of Hunter wearing my hoodie, leaning against my bench. Amanda's caption was burned into the image. You look better in his hoodie. 2 feet away sat Emily's science fair poster. They were not just cheating. They were doing it in my house, with my things, beside our daughter's projects. I stared at the screen without blinking. My chest did not shake. Calm is a useful weapon. I checked the family computer and opened photos synced from Amanda's phone. A hidden live photo sat in a folder she forgot to clean. The audio whispered. A laugh. A belt buckle. My thermostat beeping as someone changed the temperature. You cannot argue with audio. I looked at the calendar. Times, dates, patterns formed a map of betrayal. Quiet men make deadly spreadsheets. I added screenshots, timestamps, and video clips. Feelings could wait. Facts were busy speaking. I kept digging, because cheating was only half the story. Money was missing. Real money. I opened the college account again and checked the transaction logs. 3 transfers went to an outside checking account I did not recognize. The total loss was more than $68,000. The balance was $10 after 12 years of deposits. Tuition, birthdays, tax refunds, quiet saving all gone. I opened the custodial UTMA account next. 4 withdrawals were made in person at a branch across town. The signature looked like mine, if my hand was broken. Someone forged my name on my daughter's future. I stared at the screen and felt nothing. Shock can be silent. I called the bank and asked for the fraud department. They froze the remaining funds in seconds. They flagged the account and preserved branch footage. That meant cameras. That meant timestamps. That meant evidence that breathes. I saved every PDF, every statement, every transfer log. The money did not drift away. Someone moved it with intention. And the person with access was Amanda. I checked our joint account and found charges tied to a photo printing service. 5x7 portraits paid with her card. A small preview thumb showed Hunter in my hoodie again. In my garage again. I found DoorDash receipts for meals ordered to a motel 3 miles from her clinic. The same motel her phone visited on lunch breaks. I checked the car mileage. Numbers jumped on days she claimed overtime. Facts stack like bricks when you let them. I printed everything and added it to the folder. My hands never trembled. Anger was useless. Precision was necessary. I opened my spreadsheet and made a new tab. Withdrawals, signatures, times, branch addresses, camera requests. It looked like a police exhibit. It needed to. I calculated the losses. More than a down payment on a house. Enough to cover 4 years of tuition. Enough to crush a future if ignored. I checked the email account we share for bills. Amanda had deleted confirmation emails from the printing lab. She forgot the trash folder keeps them for 30 days. I restored them. Pictures ordered. Paid in full. Pickup confirmed. She documented her crime in high resolution. I opened the garage and walked to my workbench. My microfiber fender cover had makeup stains on it. Amanda does not fix cars. I matched the stain to a shade from her vanity drawer. Facts do not care about excuses. I looked at the small tripod Emily used for school projects. It was set behind the miter, saw like someone filmed from there. They recorded themselves in my garage. Next to my tools. With my daughter's college fund paying for gas, food, and gifts. I stood there and felt a stillness settle into my chest. Not rage. Not sadness. Just direction. She stole from a child. She betrayed a family. And she did it with a 19-year-old who called me sir. I closed the garage, locked the door, and started planning. Not revenge. Justice. Real justice moves on paper and leaves footprints in courtrooms. I would not scream. I would not break anything. I would let documents do the talking. Because the truth already had a voice. And soon it would have a badge, a judge, and a case number. I called a family attorney the next morning. His name was Collins, and he spoke like someone who saw storms every day. I showed him the documents without commentary. He flipped through the pages and nodded slowly. He asked one question. Do you want confrontation or protection? I said protection. He made a list like a surgeon, planning an operation. Separate accounts. Freeze credit. Move my paycheck to a new bank. Remove her from every joint card. File for an emergency, financial restraining order. Ask the judge for temporary exclusive use of the home. All legal. All clean. No shouting required. I left his office and drove straight to the bank. By noon, every dollar I earned was no longer reachable by Amanda. Joint cards died with a swipe. Her access froze like winter glass. I placed a fraud alert with all 3 credit bureaus. Amanda would not borrow a single penny in my name again. Then I called a financial crimes attorney. Her name was Bryant. Sharp voice, steady eyes, a person who treated paperwork like ammunition. She read my evidence like it was a crime novel, missing the last chapter. She told me exactly what to do next. File a police report. Preserve the printer files. Save the camera history. Do not touch her devices. Let the authorities collect their own proof. She drafted a list of charges that made my stomach twist. Forgery. Identity theft. theft by conversion from a minor's account. Those are not marital problems. They are felonies. I walked out with a folder full of instructions and a quiet heartbeat. Justice needed patience, not fireworks. That night, Amanda texted that she had inventory night at the clinic. Life 360 placed her 3 blocks from the motel again. The clinic was dark. I took a photo of the locked door and time-stamped it. Screenshots do not argue. When she walked in at 11:30 p.m., I said nothing. Silence frightened her more than anger ever would. The next morning, I printed everything. Statements, transfer receipts, location logs, gas charges connected to Hunter's license plate. I slid the entire pile into a binder. Tab dividers made it look like a college textbook about betrayal. I met Collins again and handed him the binder. He smiled without joy. "This is organized chaos," he said. "Courts like organized chaos." He filed the emergency orders before lunch. A judge signed them while eating a sandwich. Amanda did not know her access to the house was about to vanish. I changed the smart lock code and disabled her app permissions. I removed her from HomeKit, Wi-Fi controls, and garage access. She could not open a door with her phone anymore. I set my phone to record automatically every time a call came from her number. My state allows one-party consent. Her voice became evidence. Later that evening, she tried to unlock the door with her old code. It blinked red. She rang the bell like she lived there. I watched through the peephole and stayed calm. When I finally opened it, the chain still held the door. She demanded entry. I handed her a sealed envelope with the judge's order. She read one line and understood the game was no longer emotional. It was legal. She took her purse and keys and left without another word. The street stayed quiet. I locked the door, set the alarm, and exhaled. The first battle was won without yelling. Paperwork had teeth, and I had only begun to use them. Life 360 became my quiet partner. Every afternoon, Amanda's phone drifted to the same motel. Not once. Not twice. Enough times to make a pattern instead of a suspicion. I captured each location ping with a timestamp. Screenshots stacked like bricks. I drove past the clinic during one of her late shifts. Lights off. Door locked. Parking lot empty. I took a picture of the dark building. Proof sits quietly until someone needs it. A week later, the pattern repeated. Garage door opened at 9:13 p.m. Hunter's old Civic rolled inside like he paid rent. I watched the garage camera feed without emotion. 2 silhouettes in the back seat. Not reading scripture. I called non-emergency dispatch. My voice was calm, almost clinical. "I have 2 people trespassing in my garage. I want officers to document it." They told me to stay inside. No confrontation. No noise. Just patience. Lights flashed outside in less than 5 minutes. Red and blue, reflecting across my lawn. An officer knocked and asked me to open the garage. I pressed the button and stood back. Amanda stepped out of the car with her hair messy and her pride cracked. Hunter followed, pale and shaking. The officer asked for IDs. Amanda glared at me like I had betrayed her. Denial tastes bitter when a badge is watching. The officers ran their names and confirmed what I told them. This was my house. Hunter was not welcome. I requested a formal trespass warning. They issued it on the spot. Hunter was told not to return without my written consent. If he did, he would leave in handcuffs. Amanda tried to speak. The officer shut her down with a raised hand. She had no legal position in that moment. Only consequences. They escorted both of them off the property. I watched their car drive away. Tail lights shrinking like the end of a bad movie. I sent my lawyer the incident number before I slept. Details matter. The next morning, Amanda texted me 5 messages in a row. Accusations, insults, threats. I did not answer. Silence is a scalpel in the hands of a patient man. She returned that night with her old house key. She rang the bell hard enough to wake the street. I opened the door with the chain still locked. Everything was legal and recorded. She demanded to come inside. I slid a folder through the gap. Bank statements, photos, Life 360 locations, the printer spool photo, the lawyer's order. Her face collapsed like a burned building. She tried to say it was a mistake. She tried to say she borrowed the money. I hit play on the live photo audio. A soft laugh. A belt buckle. My thermostat beeping. There are sentences you cannot escape when they come from your own mouth. I told her she could pick up her belongings tomorrow with a deputy. No more secrets. No more favors. She called me insane. I told her the law calls me custodial guardian of our daughter's future. She tried to walk past the chain. I pointed to the officer's business card on the table. The incident number written bold on the front. Her anger melted into fear. She grabbed her purse and slammed the door behind her. The engine roared. Headlights turned toward her sister's house. I locked the door, changed the code, and placed the folder back on the counter. The house was silent. For the first time in months, silence felt loyal. I wrote the time and date into the spreadsheet. Evidence does not rest. Justice does not sleep. And no apology could erase what she chose to destroy. 2 days later, a certified letter went to Hunter's father. A formal no-contact notice. A trespass warning. A short line preserving my right to sue. Not dramatic. Just business. An hour after delivery, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. A deep voice introduced himself as Mark, Hunter's dad. He asked to meet. 10 minutes. No chaos. I agreed. We met at a small diner off the highway. He arrived first. Hands rough. Eyes tired. A man who fixed problems with tools, not excuses. He set his phone face down. He said he did not want lawyers, cameras, or social media. Only facts. I slid a thin folder across the table. 3 pages. Simple, cold, organized. First page showed withdrawals from Emily's accounts. Second page showed money spent on food, gas, and hotel rooms. Third page showed photos printed with Amanda's credit card. Hunter in my hoodie. My tools in the background. Not imagination. Evidence. Mark read slowly. His jaw worked like he was grinding stone. He said nothing for a long time. Then he exhaled like a tire losing air. He said his son was stupid, but not a criminal. I told him stupidity was not the charge. Forgery and theft were. He asked what would stop me from adding Hunter to the civil lawsuit. I answered without emotion. Restitution and honesty. I wanted my daughter's money back. I wanted a sworn affidavit. A statement that Hunter knew the funds were coming from Amanda. A statement that she initiated the relationship while married. No drama. Just facts. Mark went quiet. He pulled out a yellow legal pad and did math in his head. He asked for a number. I did not hesitate. $15,000 in certified funds. Not a threat. A requirement. He tapped his fingers on the table. Then he stood and left the diner. He returned 5 minutes later with a sealed envelope. Inside was a cashier's check for $15,000. Real money. Real ink. No promises. Just payment. He told me Hunter was waiting outside in the truck. If the affidavit mattered, we could sign it now. I followed him to the parking lot. Hunter stood by the passenger door. Hands shaking. Eyes red. He looked younger than his age. Shame takes the confidence out of boys. I read the affidavit line by line. He answered yes to every question. His voice cracked on the part about Emily's college money. He signed. A notary stamped the page. The sound of the stamp was louder than any apology. I handed Hunter a copy of the trespass order. He nodded without looking up. Mark promised his son would never come near our home again. I believed him. Some fathers still know discipline. Driving home, I paused at a UPS store. I copied the check and affidavit. I mailed them to my attorney. I emailed scanned versions to the detective handling the case. Paper trails do not disappear. That night, Emily sat at the kitchen table doing homework. I told her the first semester was paid for. She nodded once. No celebration. Just relief. She said she would block Hunter on everything. She showed me the screen with his name removed. Growing up happened fast in our house. Amanda tried calling again. I did not answer. Her messages went straight to the legal folder. Words do not erase signatures. Money does not grow back on its own. But justice does. The house stayed quiet. The air felt lighter. Proof had weight, but closure was even heavier. One piece of the damage was repaired. One consequence delivered. And we were only halfway done. Detective Morales called me on a Thursday morning. He said the arrest warrant was approved. He told me not to show up and not to interfere. He promised to notify me when it was done. I thanked him and went back to my coffee. Calm tasted better than revenge. Amanda was arrested at the pediatric clinic during her shift. 2 officers walked her out, while nurses pretended not to stare. Parents waiting in the lobby pulled their children close. Someone took a picture. Someone whispered. Humiliation travels faster than paperwork. I heard about it from a neighbor before the detective even texted. He sent one line. Warrant served, in custody, you did everything correctly. I forwarded the message to my attorney. He replied with a single word. Good. Amanda called 12 times over the next hour. I did not answer. Her voice went to voicemail. She cried. She begged. She blamed me. She said she only borrowed the money. She said she was planning to pay it back. I saved the messages as audio files. Evidence grows by itself when guilt panics. Amanda's job terminated her by the end of the day. Her access to patient records was revoked before she reached the jail. She wrote a Facebook post about betrayal and lies. She did not mention the forged signatures. She did not mention the missing $68,000. People commented with prayer emojis. I ignored it. People love stories until the court documents appear. At the plea hearing, Amanda looked small. Not the woman who slammed doors and shouted. The judge read every charge slowly. Forgery. Identity theft. Theft involving a minor's asset. She pled guilty to avoid trial. 5 years probation. 120 days in county jail. Mandatory restitution. No financial jobs for the duration of probation. Her voice cracked when she said, "Yes, Your Honor." The judge asked Emily if she wanted to speak. Emily stood. Her voice did not shake. She said she wanted her college money back. She said she wanted to finish high school without chaos. The courtroom went silent. The judge wrote her words into the official order. Amanda stared at the table. Restitution started at $73 a week. It will take years. But pressure is pressure. Every dollar she pays is a reminder of the choice she made. Life is expensive when you break it yourself. The divorce finalized quickly. I kept the house, my retirement, and sole custody of Emily. Amanda kept her car, her fines, and her new reputation. Her social circle shrank to almost nothing. People who defended her online disappeared quietly. Screenshots outlived sympathy. A month after sentencing, Hunter tried to call me. He left a voicemail full of excuses. He said he felt sick about everything. He said Amanda told him we were separated. He said he never meant to hurt Emily. I forwarded the message to my attorney and to Detective Morales. I did not respond. Silence is still my favorite sentence. Emily healed slowly. She got a partial scholarship to a state university. Between restitution, bank recovery, and grants, tuition was covered. She worked a part-time job and saved every check. She grew stronger in ways she did not ask for. We opened a new 529 plan with multiple guardians. Every alert came to both of us in real time. No more blind trust. Trust is earned now, not assumed. Amanda sent long paragraphs about forgiveness and healing. I forwarded them to my lawyer. Boundaries are easier than arguments. Emily blocked her without ceremony. The house became peaceful again. The garage smelled like wood and oil, not perfume. Silence returned in the best way. No lies. No secrets. No locked phones. I met someone new months later. Her name was Rachel. An ICU nurse with a calm smile and a full life of her own. No triangles. No hidden messages. No midnight stories that didn't add up. We kept finances separate. Passwords separate. Only honesty and oxygen between us. Sometimes I think about the night the garage door opened. How easy it would have been to scream, break things, or lose control. But chaos would have protected the guilty. Paper protected the innocent. Emily starts college on time. Restitution hits every Friday. Amanda lives with the consequences she earned. The system worked. Justice took its time, but it moved in a straight line. Quiet men with evidence do not lose. They finish. The house is calm now. No slammed doors. No silent phones. Just breathing walls and clean air. Emily leaves for college next week. Her bags sit by the stairs. Her smile is tired but real. Restitution lands every Friday. Small deposits. Slow justice. But steady. Amanda works a warehouse job and stays quiet. The world shrank around her. Actions have borders. She lives inside them. I wake up without tension in my chest. Coffee tastes like coffee again. The garage is mine, just sawdust and tools. Studio lights are gone. Silence feels like a friend. Rachel shows up on Sundays with groceries. We cook. We laugh. We live simply. No lies hiding in shadows. I do not feel triumphant. I feel balanced. I chose paper instead of rage. Facts instead of fists. It saved my daughter's future. It saved my sanity. People say revenge feels good. They are wrong. Peace feels better. The story is finished. And the quiet is finally honest.